2 weeks ago, we had one of our storytellers drop out, so I scrambled to find a replacement and reached out to our next storyteller, who so eagerly and so happily stepped up and pulled together a story, like at the very last minute. In 2 weeks, for those of you who've never prepared a story to perform, is like not enough time. So our next storyteller's, his story is called Coming to America. I want everyone to give a warm, warm welcome to Rahul Sansi.
I was born and raised in India, but I moved to this country 14 years ago for grad school. It was August 3rd, 2003 when I landed in Los Angeles. And I was on my way from the airport to the USC campus in a car, in my cab, on the I-10 East. And I was looking out of the window and trying to soak in the city around me. It was my new home. When all of a sudden, something caught my attention. And it was the giant billboard of a porn star. As I stared into that billboard, I thought to myself, wow, America is a country of opportunity. Do you guys know what it was like to watch porn in India 14 years ago? When you were living with your parents in a house that had just one computer, which was in the living room. There are 1.3 billion people in India. There is no privacy ever. And when you do find those 10 minutes to yourself, you had to watch porn on a dial-up internet connection. I'm not sure if you guys know what a dial-up internet connection is, but it is when you get internet through your phone line. And watching porn on a dial-up internet connection is like watching porn using a flip book. As you flip the pages, the images move really slowly. And here I was, on my first day in America, on a public freeway, looking into the image of a bikini-clad porn star on a billboard. It was crazy. A few days later, I was walking on the streets of LA, and I saw a few people walking towards me. And as they approached me, one of them looked at me, smiled, and said, hi. And I was like, did this guy just say hi to me? I don't even know him. I had never had that experience before. There are 1.3 billion people in India. So at any given point, there are at least a few hundred people on the streets. Can you imagine what it would be like if you stopped, made eye contact, and greeted everyone on the street in India? You would never be able to get anywhere. So we don't make eye contact or greet anyone in India. In fact, it's the total opposite. Your goal is to get from point A to point B with the least amount of human interaction as possible. So when I figured out that in America, random people just greet each other on the street, I thought, wow, this is magical. A few days later, some of my friends who were my seniors at USC took me to Malibu Beach in LA. It was the first time I was experiencing Pacific Ocean. I was standing on the beach, looking into the ocean, and I saw in front of me, 100 feet from me, dolphins swimming in the ocean. It was crazy. I was like, what? Dolphins swim on beaches in America? That is crazy. And I've been in this country for 14 years now, and I've been to beaches several times after that. But that was the one and only time when I saw dolphins on a beach in America. It was truly magical. And do you know what it's like to be on a beach in India, especially in a city like Mumbai, where I grew up? There are so many people that you can't even see the water. all you see is an ocean of people around you. Soon my classes started at USC. I found roommates, and I moved into an apartment. And the next step, of course, was to furnish the apartment. But what I found out was, in America, you don't have to go to a furniture store to buy furniture. Furniture just magically appears on the streets of LA. Every day I stepped out of my apartment, I saw a new piece of furniture on the sidewalks of LA. I got a leather couch, a coffee table, a dining table, several kinds of lamps, and a book rack. In fact, I found so much stuff that I thought to myself, maybe I should open an online store on eBay and sell this stuff. And, some magic only lasts for so long, and sometimes magic turns dark and becomes black magic. And so, when I was going to USC, I remember there was a pyramid scheme in America which was very popular called Quick Star, also known as Amway. And for some reason, the target demographic for Amway were poor Indian graduate students. They would recruit Indian graduate students all across the campus who would recruit other Indian graduate students. And it all worked because we were all here to chase the American dream and get rich quick. So then one day, I was sitting in the library trying to do my homework when a friend of mine walks up to me and he says, "Rahul, how would you like to supplement your professional income?" I was like, "Dude, what the hell are you talking about? I serve food in a cafeteria so I can pay my rent. I don't have any professional income. And I don't have any profession." So then he invited me to a study room in the library, and he gave me a presentation on how the pyramid scheme works. He told me how I could recruit other people, and the more people I recruited, the more money I could make. I listened to his entire presentation patiently, and after he was done, I decided never to hang out with him ever again. But then after that incident, I started noticing a change in the Indian student population at USC. As I told you before, Indian people, they don't make eye contact with each other and they don't smile at each other. But I started noticing that random Indian dudes would try to make eye contact with me and smile at me. And when that started happening, I realized something was wrong. And then it started happening in parking lots, in malls, and even at USC hallways. I would get cornered by random Indian people who would try to make small talk with me and then ask me that question: how would you like to supplement your professional income? I escaped each and every of those encounters, and I managed to graduate from USC without getting recruited by Quick Star. Now I have been in this country for so many years, and the magic that I felt in the initial days when I moved to US has kind of faded away. And I've become more cynical. I get irritated very fast. I get irritated when my Wi-Fi doesn't work on a flight, or when the news feed on my Facebook app doesn't load very quickly. I have started taking things for granted. But when I think of these memories, these incidents that happened so long ago, many of which are super embarrassing, they remind me that there is magic happening all around me at every instant. Thank you.